Yes! That's right, Bart, get all of them XP points. Oh, hey! I was just playing some Pokemon there, and it got me thinking. Got me thinking about a lot of stuff, actually. Reading glasses. Like, about how 2 months ago, no, not 2 months ago, last month, August 6th, the online Pokemon Center opened up again. I got this nifty pin. Isn't it nice? It's a little messenger Pikachu. He's so cute. Where was I? Messenger Pikachu. Right, the Pokemon Center open, and then in November, we've got Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire coming out, and in October, we got Smash Bros. And Smash Bros. Has Pokemon in it. They're not the main focus, but it has Pokemon in it. But these things have got me thinking, and I want to celebrate Pokemon with all my fellow Pokemon fans. I might not be from Gen 1, I might not be as hardcore as you, but I'm still a Pokemon fan. So here is my top 6 favorite Pokemon list. Why 6? Well, let's go to the rules for that one.
The rules are slightly different this time. Instead of 1 entry per series, I'll be doing 1 entry per generation of the game. This list will also not be in order of my favorites, but rather which generation they're from. So, number 6 will be from Generation 6, and number 1 will be from Generation 1. My favorites will also differ from yours, and that's okay. That being said, let's get started. Number 6. Gogoat, from the Kalos region. I might have a thing for goats. Our bosses asked us to pitch a name for the company, and I was the one who came up with Oh My Goat. Also, Gogoat is a frickin' BAMF. I love my Gogoat, and you know what? I loved it in general. Before the game even came out, from that teaser clip where the trainers could ride the frickin' Gogoat or the Skiddo, whichever one. That entire line is just great. I love it. But seriously, it was huge! We could ride our Pokemon! We could actually see us riding a Pokemon. And then we could only really do it in like 2 spots, and it was a total letdown, but still, I love my Gogoat. He rarely lets me down, and is a crucial part of my in-game Gen 6 lineup. Who am I kidding? He's just a huge part of my Gen 6 lineup. He is such a great self-healer. He knows Leech Horn and Synthesis and Leaf Blade and Earthquake, and it's great. I also named him Kid with 2 D's because I'm an unoriginal bitch. Yeah. Number 5. Swasbuck, from the United States region. I mean Unova. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hated Generation 5. Okay, I didn't kind of hate it, I really don't like it. I don't like the story, I don't like the gym leaders, I don't like the region, I don't like the bad guys. I really don't like N. I'm sorry. Like the one thing you'd think I'd like about this generation is maybe N, or my rivals. I can't even remember their names. I can't even remember the professor's name. She was the girl one, right? I really just didn't like much about Gen 5. I do like a good handful of the Pokemon, and the one thing I really liked about Gen 5 was the season-changing thing. If I was making Gen 5, I would have based the storyline on that, not PETA in the Pokemon world. But not PETA, because the main bad guy actually wants world domination, because that's been done to death. But that would would have been an interesting story, and having maybe your legendaries based off of that. No, okay, we'll go with Pokemon PETA. But since I liked that aspect of Gen 5, of course I like Deerling and Swasbuck. So I'm actually going to start talking about Swasbuck instead of critiquing Gen 5. I'm so sorry, I just needed to get that out of the way. I'd say it's not going to happen again, but I didn't like Gen 4 either. So yeah, I liked Deerling and Swasbuck because they changed with the seasons, and that was neat to me to begin with. But I think the other reason I like Swasbuck more than any Gen 5 Pokemon, even Deerling, its pre-evolved form, which is cute, but Swasbuck. I have this memory of when I was a kid, and me and the neighbor kids are playing in the yard. Okay, the neighbor kids are in the yard. I'm on the porch, just kind of chilling, standing there watching everyone play. And we hear this loud noise from up the street, and we see this huge buck bolting down the road. And he cuts through my yard. And remember, everyone else is in the yard. I'm standing on the porch. But I'm standing on the porch, and the deer runs by, and I'm so close to him that I could have grabbed onto his antlers and lived out the rest of my days in the forest. But then I wouldn't be here making this top 10 list. So yeah, Swasbuck. As I mentioned in my bit about Swasbuck, I'm not a fan of Generation 4 either. I barely remember it. Like barely. I can't remember the starters. I can not remember half the Pokemon. I can't remember what the sprites looked like, or what my rival looked like, or any of it, actually. It's kind of bad. It's probably because I liked Gen 3 the most, and after Gen 3, Gen 4 was just kind of underwhelming for me. But I'm off topic. I'm sure I liked Pokemon in Gen 4, but since I can't remember any of it, I can't list them off. In fact, I actually thought this Pokemon was from Gen 3. Whoops! Buizel, the Water Weasel. Why the Water Weasel? Because that's fun to say. I don't recall much of my playthrough of Diamond. Or did I have Pearl? Or the other one, that was both of them put together. I do remember that I had a Buizel on my team. And I loved the little guy so much I didn't want him to evolve. In the end, I let him evolve, and he kicked a ton of butt. After I finished my main game in X, that's Gen 6, I started building new teams. I could switch out if I wanted to, or play my friends with different kinds of Pokemon. But short of this is, I had a Buizel, and I named it Arthur. Why Arthur? Because Aquaman, guys. He's orange, that's orange. Aquaman. Come on. Woohoo! Hoenn remake confirmed! Heck yeah! About time! I'm already hearing trumpets. Generation 3 is my favorite gen, and the first generation I played through and finished. Actually, it's the first one I even played through. That being said, this is really freaking hard. I mean, the easy thing to do would be to say Blaziken, because for starter, but no, that's too easy and too OP. I will say it's definitely not Bagon. Too many freaking Bagon. In my playthrough of Heart Gold, I obtained a Japanese Salamence. I tried to breed a shiny. So many Bagon. Never again. So, after that little mental breakdown, I wonder, who should I choose? Torkoal? Yeah, I like Torkoal. I never really had one on my team yet. But it's a fire type, which I like. I know it's hard to tell since most of my list seems to be grass or water. We'll get to the other water. But I always pick the fire starter when I start out, which is probably why I never had a Torkoal on my team, because, well, I had the overpowered Blaziken. But it's a tortoise, and tortoises are cool. It's also kind of ironic because most people think of tortoise and they're like, oh, water type. And I'm just like, nah, man. A turtle would be a water type. And other people would be like, what's the difference? And I just kind of shake them and scream in their faces. The difference is a tortoise can't swim. So yeah, Torkoal. I wondered what I'd name a Torkoal. I like the name Tori. I think I'd name a Torkoal Tori. Number 2, which kind of ironically is actually my favorite Pokemon. Like, out of all of these, this is my guy. But yeah, I'm doing this by generation, so number 2, Ampharos. As I've said before, Generation 3 was my first game, so I didn't really get a taste of Gen 2 until Heart Gold and Soul Silver, where I tried to breed that darn shiny. At first I was just going to build a well-rounded team, and never breed a shiny again, so I wanted to catch an electric type. I was kind of hoping for a Pikachu because, you know, Pikachu, mascot of the team, mascot of the game series in general, always in the show. It's adorable. You want to pinch its cheeks. Don't pinch its cheeks. You'll get electrocuted and die. But anyway, I ran into a Mareep. And I'm like, fine. I'll catch the sheep. It's an electric type. I need type coverage. I was kind of disappointed when it evolved into a Flappy, because I was in that phase where pink is evil and must be destroyed at all cost. Kind of gone past that, see pink is just a color now. Don't really care either way. That's the fun thing about growing up, kids. You'll start just not caring about things. But anyway, liked Mareep's color scheme. Blue and yellow. It was cute. Flappy. Pink and white. Didn't like it as a kid. But I kept it on my team for balance. And it evolved, inevitably, into an Ampharos, as all Flappies do. Unless you give them an Everstone, or hit B a lot. But I was cool with an Ampharos. I actually forgot that Mareep eventually becomes Ampharos. And I always liked the design as a kid, even if some people say it looks like a yellow striped bowling pin. I see it. It's funny, but I still love it. So I kept him on my team. Didn't bother to name him, even though I named all my other Pokemon at that point, and we got to the Elite Four. So I'm on the second guy, Koga, the poison guy, the ninja guy. And he kept setting up these poison spikes. So, of course, I don't want to switch. because I don't want my team to get poisoned, because I was stupid and didn't have anything that could cure poison or paralysis or sleep or anything like that at the time, and I was really unprepared for the Elite Four. But I still won. That's the fun part. So, out of fear of of poisoning the rest of my team, I wasn't going to switch my first guy. And of course, the first guy was Ampharos. So, needless to say, Ampharos took down Koga's entire team by himself, single-handedly. Now, I'm bad with remembering what type goes against what, or what type is weak against what, and what type is strong against what, aside from the basic water will kill fire. So, whether or not in your book, or in the Rules of the Games book, that's a good feat, a great feat, that's up for interpretation. But for me, that was the most awesome thing I'd ever done in a Pokemon game. Beat one member of the Elite Four with one Pokemon. Needless to say, after defeating the Elite Four, which I did in that one go-through, I went right to the Name Rater and renamed my Ampharos Champ. Since then, I have named every Ampharos I've gotten in every game Champ. In Gen 6, I got a new Ampharos, raised him up from a Mareep myself, caught him from a horde. It was great. It was special. I actually went back where it's in the game because I didn't know where you could catch Mareep. So, caught the Mareep, named him Champ, knowing one day he's gonna grow up to be an Ampharos. And in Gen 6, he is my first level 100 Pokemon. I've never had a level 100 Pokemon in my life. I probably will have a few after. And I know since it's Gen 6 and you have the XP share that works just kind of abundantly on everything that's in your party, it's less of an awesome thing. But still, a fully leveled up Pokemon is still pretty cool to have. And I really, really freaking love my Ampharos. Really do. Number 1, Wartortle. Hey, another tortoise, except this one can swim. Okay, so the actual difference is a turtle has fins and a tortoise has feet. Off topic. Anyway, my first real time playing with any Gen 1 starter was in Fire Red. I always choose the fire starter, so I chose Charmander. And for the longest time, the Charmander line would have been at this spot. So thank God for Heart Gold. I don't exactly recall how I got a Squirtle on my team. I guess somebody must have bred it for me, and I got it early-ish on from them. But I named the little guy Blast Adams, because I fully intended to let him evolve into a Blastoise. Get it? Blastoise, Blast Adams. Now, to be fair, I'd forgotten a lot of Pokemon over the years. I'm sure you have too. And Wartortle, for the longest time, was one of them. So when my little Blast evolved into a Wartortle, I was super excited and kind of didn't want to evolve him after that. I eventually let him, and I completed the game with him, Champ, Typhlosion named Johnny, Houdini named Hypno, who also might have taken the spot some time ago, and Kid my Tyranitar, I think. This is why Kid the Go-Goat has 2 Ds, because I had Kid the Tyranitar with 1 D. Anyway, Generation 6 rolls around, and I pick Fennekin, which I regret now because Chespin is better and cuter, but I also wanted a Go-Goat, so balance. Gotta go for that balanced team. Then I get to Sycamore, and he gives me the Gen 1 starter as it is, and I grab Squirtle. Like, no hesitation. I went for Squirtle. I want balance. I wanted Blast Adam back. I ended up getting a girl, and I love her. I named her Abby after a friend of mine because I call that friend Squirtle. If she's watching, hi Abby! Once she evolved into a Wartortle, I put an Everstone on her and never looked back. Bred Abby after defeating the Elite Four in the Champion. She had a son, I named it Blast Adams. Let him become a Blastoise, gave him the Mega Stone. I regret nothing.
So this has been my top 6 favorite Pokemon, and frankly, I'd love to hear yours, or Red's, or even the interns. So leave a comment below with your list, or link us to a video you made. This has been Blue Regard Tea Awesome Sauce signing off. And does anyone else hear trumpets?